Have you ever sat down to do something important, only to find yourself distracted by notifications, emails, or endless scrolling? In today's world, our attention is constantly under attack, and staying focused feels almost impossible. But what if there was a way to train your mind, cut through distractions, and produce results that truly set you apart? That's exactly what Cal Newport's book Deep Work is all about. He argues that the ability to focus without distraction is like a superpower in our fast-paced, noisy world. And the best part? It's a skill you can develop. Whether you're a student, a professional, or a creator, mastering deep work can help you achieve more in less time, while feeling deeply satisfied with your progress. In this video, we'll break down the key lessons from deep work and show you how to sharpen your focus, reduce distractions, and unlock your full potential. Let's get started. Cal Newport begins his book by drawing a clear line between two types of work: deep work and shallow work. Deep work means focusing with full concentration, pushing your brain to its limit, and producing results that are meaningful and lasting. Imagine a scientist running groundbreaking experiments, a programmer building complex software, or an author writing a book without interruption. These are activities that require long stretches of uninterrupted thought. They're hard, but they're also the activities that create real value. Now, let's look at shallow work. Shallow work consists of tasks that don't require much brain power and can often be done while distracted. Think about replying to dozens of emails, scrolling social media, sitting in routine meetings, or doing repetitive office work. These things might make you feel productive in the moment, but they rarely move you toward your biggest goals. Newport emphasizes that in today's economy, deep work is both rare and incredibly valuable. Why? Because most people are constantly distracted. Our phones, notifications, and endless streams of digital content train our brains to crave novelty instead of focus. That's why those who can resist distraction and concentrate deeply are the ones who stand out. Here's the key. Deep work is like a superpower in the modern world. It allows you to learn faster, produce higher quality results, and achieve more in less time. For example, a writer who dedicates 3 to 4 hours a day to deep work can finish an entire book in months, while another person stuck in shallow work might struggle for years. Newport's big idea is that success doesn't come from being busy. It comes from being focused. Shallow work might fill your day, but deep work builds your career, your skills, and your legacy. And the good news? Deep work is a skill you can train. Just like going to the gym strengthens your muscles, practicing focus strengthens your ability to concentrate. So the challenge is clear. If you want to thrive in today's distracted world, you need to intentionally design your life around deep work and limit the pull of shallow tasks. The choice is between staying busy or becoming truly effective. Now that we understand the power of deep work, the next lesson is simple but life-changing. You have to work deeply. What does that mean? It means creating an environment where your mind can focus without distraction for extended periods of time. Cal Newport explains that deep work doesn't happen by accident. You have to be intentional about it. Just like athletes train their bodies, you need to train your mind to go deep. One of Newport's big points is that our brains naturally resist focus. Distraction is easy. That's why most people spend their day answering emails, checking notifications, and jumping between tasks. But the truth is, every time you switch your focus, your brain pays a cost. It takes time and energy to refocus. That's why shallow work feels exhausting, but rarely produces meaningful results. To work deeply, Newport suggests developing rituals and routines. For example, many great writers and thinkers set up specific times and places where they do their most important work, often early in the morning before distractions set in. By having a routine, you tell your brain, this is the time to focus. Another strategy is to embrace what Newport calls monastic or bimodal deep work. The monastic approach means cutting out distractions almost entirely, like a monk. Some people, like authors or scientists, will retreat for weeks or months to work on a big project. The bimodal approach means splitting your time. Some parts of your day or week are dedicated to deep work, and the rest is for shallow work and daily tasks. Even if you can't disappear into a cabin in the woods, you can still practice deep work in smaller blocks. Maybe 2 hours every morning before emails, or 90 minutes each evening with your phone off. The key is consistency. Newport also highlights the importance of embracing boredom. When you feel the urge to check your phone every 5 minutes, you're training your brain to avoid focus. Instead, give yourself time to be bored. By resisting constant stimulation, you're strengthening your ability to stay concentrated when it really matters. So here's the takeaway. To produce extraordinary results, you must deliberately carve out time to work deeply. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Design your day so deep work is non-negotiable, like an appointment with yourself. Because in the end, it's not the hours you put in, it's the depth of focus during those hours that determines what you achieve. One of the most surprising lessons in deep work is that you need to embrace boredom. At first, this might sound strange. Why would boredom be valuable in a world full of entertainment and information? But Cal Newport makes a powerful point. If you want to master deep work, you must train your brain to handle boredom instead of running away from it. Here's the problem. Most people today can't stand even a few seconds of boredom. The moment there's a pause, they grab their phone, scroll social media, or check notifications. This constant stimulation rewires your brain to crave novelty. In other words, you're teaching yourself to be distracted. But here's the truth. Focus is like a muscle. If you never let your brain rest, you weaken your ability to concentrate for long stretches. That's why Newport says you need to practice boredom. Just like athletes push their bodies in training, you need to push your mind by resisting the urge to always be entertained. So how do you do this? One strategy is to schedule boredom. For example, set aside specific times to check your phone or email instead of reacting every time a notification pops up. If you feel the urge to look at your phone in the middle of focused work, don't. Tell yourself, I'll check it at 2 p.m. and then get back to work. By delaying the reward, you're strengthening your discipline. Another method is to practice focus when it doesn't matter. For instance, if you're waiting in line at the grocery store, resist the temptation to pull out your phone. Instead, just stand there and let your mind wander. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but you're training your brain to stay calm without constant stimulation. Newport also reminds us that boredom fuels creativity. Some of history's greatest ideas came when people were simply walking, resting, or daydreaming. When you allow space for boredom, your mind starts making connections it couldn't make when bombarded by information. The big takeaway here is simple. Don't fear boredom. Use it as a tool. The next time you're tempted to distract yourself, pause and stay with the feeling. Over time, this practice will dramatically improve your focus, your patience, and your ability to do deep work. Remember, shallow work is easy because distraction is easy. Deep work is hard because it requires discipline. Embracing boredom is how you build that discipline. One of Cal Newport's boldest arguments in deep work is this. If you want to maximize your focus, you need to seriously reconsider your relationship with social media. Now, Newport isn't saying social media is evil or that no one should ever use it. What he is saying is that most people use these platforms mindlessly, and the cost of their attention is massive. Every time you check Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, you're not just spending a few seconds. You're training your brain to crave quick hits of entertainment and distraction. That weakens your ability to focus on meaningful work. Newport challenges us to treat social media like a tool, not a lifestyle. A tool should serve a clear purpose. If a platform genuinely provides value for your work or your life, keep it. But if it doesn't, why keep wasting your attention on it? One of his best strategies is the craftsman approach to tools. Instead of asking, what am I missing if I quit this app? You should ask, does this tool provide significant benefits that outweigh its costs? For most people, the honest answer is no. Think about it. Do you really need to spend hours scrolling? Does it make you happier or more productive or help you reach your goals? Or is it just filling empty space and pulling you away from things that truly matter, like your career, relationships, or personal growth? Newport even suggests taking a 30-day social media detox. During this time, cut out every platform you can live without. At the end of the month, ask yourself, did you miss it? Did your life improve? Did you gain more time, more focus, or even more peace of mind? Many people are shocked to realize that life is not only fine without constant scrolling, it's better. Of course, some people may need certain platforms for work or business. In that case, Newport advises using them with strict boundaries. Don't let them control your day. Schedule specific times to check in. Use them only for clear goals and log out when you're done. The core lesson here is simple. Social media is designed to capture your attention, but your attention is your most valuable resource. If you waste it on endless scrolling, you lose the ability to do deep work. By cutting back, or even quitting, you reclaim your focus and your life. In deep work, Cal Newport draws a sharp line between two types of work: deep work and shallow work. Deep work is when you're focused, distraction-free, and producing something valuable that pushes your skills to the limit. Shallow work, on the other hand, is the busy work: emails, meetings, paperwork, quick tasks that doesn't require much brain power. Here's the problem. Most people spend the majority of their day stuck in shallow work. They feel busy, but they're not actually being productive. Newport calls this the illusion of busyness. You end the day exhausted, but with little meaningful progress to show. So how do you fix this? By draining the shallows, reducing low-value tasks, and making more room for deep work. One strategy is to schedule your day with intention. Newport suggests something called time blocking. Instead of working reactively, checking email whenever you feel like it, block out specific times for shallow tasks. For example, you might only check email twice a day, once at 11 a.m., once at 4 p.m. This way, you're not constantly distracted throughout the day. Another tip is to say no more often. Many shallow tasks come from other people's demands: extra meetings, small favors, unnecessary requests. If you don't protect your time, shallow work will consume it. Newport reminds us that every yes to something shallow is a no to something deep. You should also automate or delegate shallow work whenever possible. Tools, systems, or even asking others for help can free up your schedule for what really matters. Finally, Newport advises setting hard limits on shallow work. For instance, he suggests capping your workday at a specific time, like 5:30 p.m. This forces you to prioritize deep work during your day because you know you can't just stay late and catch up. It also prevents shallow work from expanding endlessly. The key takeaway is this: shallow work will always exist. You can't avoid it completely. But if you let it dominate your schedule, you'll never make meaningful progress. By draining the shallows, you create the space needed for deep, valuable, life-changing work. Cal Newport's deep work gives us a wake-up call for the modern world. We live in a time of constant distraction: emails, notifications, endless scrolling, and shallow tasks that demand our attention but rarely move us forward. If we're not careful, we can spend our entire lives busy, yet never create anything meaningful. The 5 lessons we've covered: working deeply, embracing boredom, quitting social media, draining the shallows, and mastering systems, are not just productivity hacks. They're a philosophy for how to live and work with purpose. Deep work is rare, and because it's rare, it's incredibly valuable. Those who cultivate it will stand out, achieve more, and find greater satisfaction in their work. Think about it. The ability to focus deeply is like a superpower in today's distracted world. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, professional, or creative, your success depends on your ability to do what others cannot. Sit down, concentrate, and produce results that matter. So the challenge is simple. Don't let your life be consumed by shallow tasks and distractions. Start small. Maybe it's 1 hour of deep work a day. Protect that time. Build the habit. Over time, you'll discover that the greatest breakthroughs, the most fulfilling work, and even the deepest sense of meaning come when you give your full attention to what truly matters. Deep work is hard. That's why so few people do it. But that's also why it's so powerful. If you commit to it, you'll not only transform the way you work, you'll transform your entire life.